Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic. Welcome to my media channel, and I am on location. That's why you've not seen too many videos. So I have to film this with the phone. Well, I guess I usually film with the phone, but I don't have the audio thing or anything. But hey, we have a dog. We have a dog. Say hi, Teddy. Say hi, Teddy. You want to say hi in the video? Okay, no. So anyway, enough of that pointless introduction. So the big news that you've probably been hearing today, although some people might not wonder why it's big news, is that Hemlock Grove, one of Netflix's very original streaming shows, it premiered very shortly after House of Cards, will be leaving on October 22nd, 2022. All 3 seasons will be gone. Now, technically, that's up till midnight, so we will officially be offline on October 23rd, and that's an important date for all of this. Why is that an important date for all of this? Because that is the date that Hemlock Grove premiered on Netflix. So why is this happening? Well, here's the thing. Even though Netflix has original shows, and this is a Netflix original, they did help make it, they were not the primary production company. The primary production company, whose name I cannot remember at the time being, not being in front of a computer and all that, are the ones who hold the rights. And they made it in co-production with Netflix, but that meant that Netflix had the exclusive rights to a certain amount of time. Now, these contracts are usually written in ways where as long as the show is in production, it can, basically they have it for a certain amount of time. If it gets canceled before the agreed end upon date, the show may be shopped to other networks. There might be a buyout option if that happens as well. This is one of the reasons why Cobra Kai, which started on at YouTube Red, I was one of the original viewers of Cobra Kai. I actually had a YouTube Red account, still have my YouTube Premium account. That's why that is now on Netflix. So, what does this mean for Hemlock Grove? Sorry, blank there for a second. Well, obviously the rights to Netflix to have as an exclusive has expired, and it will be removed worldwide. The original production company can now re-offer the rights to competitors. And by the way, that means Netflix could also bid on those rights again. And maybe for sentimental reasons, they will have an incentive to do that. But what happens if no one wants the show? Well, then nothing happens. So here's the thing. We're starting to enter a very interesting phase of the streaming wars where things are starting to disappear from the platforms. HBO Max basically got the ball rolling where you started seeing Max originals, fairly recent Max. Well, actually, of course, it's fairly recent. The service is new. But recent movies that were made just a couple of years ago disappearing from the service. And now we have an original Netflix series leaving. Now here's some good news. Physical media copies of all 3 seasons do exist. They're out in the wild. They are official releases. You can buy them. The bad news is, as far as I'm aware, they're out of print. So they're going to be much harder to find. That said, there are physical options out there. And this is why even with the rise of streaming, and we love streaming, heck, I am streaming Cobra Kai Season 5 right now. I took a break long enough to film this video. But this is one of the reasons why at iCritic, we encourage physical media releases, even if they're only in limited quantities. But we do encourage physical media releases because what happens when the stuff disappears? I know Netflix sold you on the idea that, hey, we own these shows, we have them forever. That is not true. This show, one of their first original shows, was going away. Other series that went away were all the Marvel shows. Now, it is true, Disney does appear to have bought those rights back from Netflix. At the end of the day, though, Marvel was the parent company making the shows. Thus, at some point, Netflix would have lost the rights to stream the shows. Anyway, as a result, I don't blame Netflix for taking the money and running, especially since, they weren't making any more seasons. They weren't making any more money. So the message to this, and we're really just going to have to wait and see exactly where this all goes, is your stuff on streaming, even if it's an original production by the company whose service you subscribe to, is not necessarily safe. Stuff can still get pulled, which means you should still buy the physical media releases of the series that you want. This is actually going to be like a much bigger topic down the line, because I think it's starting to become much more obvious that now that it's not just the third-party content that can be pulled, but the first-party content as well. I think people are going to start looking at that with a little bit more suspicion. This might be the thing that convinces people that physical media is not worth throwing away altogether. And here's the thing. I'm not going to say I am against streaming. It's never been my position. Do you know how many streaming services I subscribe to? Heck, I'll buy physical media releases. Sometimes they won't even be open because it is just that much more convenient to stream. But I have them in case they go away. I have 13 Reasons Why seasons 1 and 2. I don't think I have season 3 and 4. I do have them on DVD, and when Netflix decides they want to cut the suicide scene, well, I have a copy so that I can watch the episode uncut the way it was meant to be seen, and Netflix can't take it away. By the way, 13 Reasons Why, also a Sony television production. House of Cards, Sony television production. Just saying, if Netflix is not the original production company, they don't have the rights to these shows in, they don't have the rights forever. They just don't. So this is going to be very interesting, because now we're getting to the point where some of these original shows might actually go away. Can you imagine what would happen if House of Cards ended up being taken off the service? It would be very interesting to see what people's reaction to shows disappearing, big shows like that, and whether or not they're going to trust streaming to have all of their stuff going forward, or if they might start getting back into the habit of, maybe if I really, really like this one, this movie, this show, maybe I should buy a physical release if it's available. But anyway, that's kind of where we are with that right now. I would like to know what you think about all of this. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.